What's going on, Bottom Line viewers? It's Mitch here of the Bottom Line View, here to give you a breakout player for each and every NFL team in 2017. In this video, I'm going to give you a breakout player for each team in the NFL. Let me know in the comment section if I got the selection for your favorite team correct. Keep in mind, these are players that aren't exactly rookies, but young players in the NFL that I expect to make a big jump in 2017 and break out as solid or good NFL players. Let's get right into the list. Starting off with the Chicago Bears, Cameron Meredith, the wide receiver. Meredith came out kind of out of nowhere in the 2016 season, being an undrafted free agent. Last year, he stepped up to become one of the best young receivers in the game and the Bears' #1 wide receiver. He caught 66 balls for 888 yards and 4 touchdowns in 2016 and is apparently developing great chemistry with quarterback Mike Glennon. Without Jeffrey there, Meredith becomes the locked and loaded #1 wide receiver, and I think he could have over 1,000 yards in 2017. The next guy I have on this list is the Cincinnati Bengals' Nick Vigil. Vigil looked primed for a major workload in 2017 after Malaluga became kind of a cap casualty in free agency and Carlos Dansby didn't re-sign with the Bengals. So now Vigil really gets the opportunity. I think he'll rise to the occasion in 2017 and become the Bengals' breakout player. For the Buffalo Bills, I have Preston Brown. Preston Brown has been asked to step up and become a leader for the Buffalo Bills defense, and all reports say that he really has become that leader. He will be the quarterback of the defense and an every down player for the Bills. After an impressive season last year and limited snaps, I think Preston makes the jump in 2017 for the Bills. CJ Anderson for the Denver Broncos. Yes, due to injuries, Anderson only played in 7 games last year, and yes, he was supposed to blow up last year, but maybe we were just 1 year early. Though the Broncos offensive line may not be elite, they have made upgrades heading into 2017, inserting Ron O'Leary at guard, as well as the fact that they expect Garrett Bowles to become their starting tackle as well. This works into CJ Anderson's favor because they really had a crappy offensive line last year, and even when he did play, it wasn't ultra impressive because the line couldn't get any push. We saw the Denver Broncos without CJ Anderson last year. It wasn't a pretty sight. When he was in there, they were a lot more complete team. They were a lot more of a complete offense, and they could actually move the ball down the field. Without CJ Anderson, when he went down after those first 7 games, the Broncos just weren't the same team in 2016. But I think Anderson this season, he's going to form himself into becoming one of the better all-around running backs in the league. He's a quality runner. I still believe in Anderson's talent, and I think he's going to prove himself this year. He's proven himself in the past to break open big plays and carry a workhorse load, and I think he'll do that in 2017, hopefully for the entire season. For the Cleveland Browns, I have Isaiah Crowell. Now, Crowell could be the next running back breakout. Crowell rushed for close to 1,000 yards last season and 7 touchdowns on 4.8 yards per carry, and had a huge upgrade along his offensive line this offseason, bringing in guys like Kevin Zeitler and J.C. Tretter. Plus, the positive news that his coach does now want to run the rock even more in 2017. I think Crowell is going to step up and have a huge monster season for the Cleveland Browns. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this is one of the more obvious ones, but it's Jameis Winston. Jameis has improved both seasons in the NFL. If he can get rid of some of the inconsistencies that he had really in his first 2 seasons, I think he can become a truly great quarterback in the NFL. He's a phenomenal leader, especially for a young guy in the NFL. He has awesome talent with great size, a big arm, and the mobility to stress a defense. And now Tampa Bay has surrounded him with great weapons to take that step up. I think Jameis Winston will be a Pro Bowl quarterback this year, and I think he'll lead the Bucs to the playoffs. Dante Moncrief for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, Moncrief has slimmed down, and apparently he's been impressing in camp. Opposite of Hilton, Moncrief is expected to serve as mostly the focal point of the Indianapolis Colts offense this upcoming season. and really be that number 2 receiver for the Colts offense. Hopefully he can stay on the field. He's been a little bit banged up this offseason already, and that is a bit concerning. But Moncrief has all the talent, the size, the ability, and he finds the end zone almost every single week. So I expect Moncrief to have a good season. Hopefully he can stay on the field for the Indianapolis Colts. For the Arizona Cardinals, I have John Brown. Now, this is another receiver that if he stays on the field, I think he can have a big season. Now, Brown believes that he has added bulk this season that will help him come back and rebound from his worst season of his career, which really, that was married by the October diagnosis last season of his sickle cell trait, which obviously would hurt any player. And it really has, it might still be hurting John Brown, but we've seen John Brown have great seasons and great flashes in the past. But I think this year, I really expect him to hopefully stay on the field and hopefully have some big time impact on the Arizona Cardinals, because they desperately need that number 2 receiver and complement speedster to Larry Fitzgerald's game. And if he's in better shape, which I believe he is, he will be that number 2 receiver for the Cardinals and get back to closer to his form that was the 1,000-yard receiving season in 2015. For the LA Chargers, I have Hunter Henry. Look for the Chargers to give Hunter Henry his opportunity in 2017. He's expected to have more snaps this season. Henry was the team's best red zone target last year, catching 8 touchdowns in 2016. In 2017, he should be a threat from all over the field and hopefully break out for the Chargers, which I expect to have a very strong offense in 2017. Justin March Lillard, linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs don't have many holes on the defensive side of the ball, but one is the starting spot beside Derek Johnson on their 3-4 defense. Justin has the ability to slide in there, and if he can stay healthy, like a lot of guys on this list, the best ability is availability. Justin is a very instinctive player. He recorded 22 tackles, 15 solo in 5 games last season, and if he can stay on the field, he could capitalize on the limited competition at the middle linebacker spot in Kansas City. So that's my pick for the Chiefs. For the Dallas Cowboys, I have La'el Collins, the tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, he looked like a first-round talent in 2015 when he got drafted, but he actually went undrafted due to character concerns, but everybody looked at him as a good quality talent. It was just the off-the-field stuff that was really in the way, which we've seen a lot of that recently for the Dallas Cowboys. But now Collins looks to be poised to take over at right tackle following the retirement of Doug Free this past season. He does have a great supporting cast around him at every other position along the line, and I think that will really help him out. And I think with that veteran leadership that he has been given along the offensive line, with the talent that he has at the running back position, I think Collins will be able to fit in and flourish in 2017 and showcase why he was supposed to be a first-round talent in 2015. Devontae Parker for the Miami Dolphins. Parker has all the physical tools to become a number 1 wideout. He has the speed, the size, the hands. Early reports from training camp were very encouraging, and Parker took this offseason regimen very seriously, has been working really hard, and has been working harder than ever at every single practice. The newly signed Jay Cutler, I think, will find him down the field because Jay Cutler is a gunslinger. He'll surely notice the improvements in Devontae Parker's game, and I think it's not like the team is going to shy away from having a first-round pick be given an opportunity. Yes, Kenny Stills there in a similar role, in a similar fashion. You still have Jarvis Landry there, even though he has some off-the-field concerns right now, kind of buzzing around him. But Devontae Parker, he's a former first-round pick with all the physical tools. He's had the best training camp and offseason of his career. You now throw in the fact that Jay Cutler is going to be the starting quarterback most likely for the Dolphins, who is a gunslinger, is a guy that likes to throw down the field, is a guy that has a history of throwing to bigger receivers than Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall, and I feel like Devontae Parker could be a bigger part of the offense in 2017. Carson Wentz for the Philadelphia Eagles. Wentz has the smarts and the confidence to be a leader of men and has really shown to be a quality starting quarterback in the NFL, as he showed in his first season. What we didn't see in 2016 was that he didn't have the targets to help him elevate his game. This season, the team added Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith, among many others, to complement Wentz's game. If Wentz and the Eagles offense can get a little bit away from the dink and dunk and trust Wentz's athleticism to succeed, I can see a big jump forward for the Eagles offense and team in 2017. Deion Jones for the Atlanta Falcons. After a strong rookie season, the Atlanta Falcons linebacker Deion Jones could become even more of a force in 2017. Last season, Jones recorded 108 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 2 returned for touchdowns, as well as 1 forced fumble and 11 pass defensed. He showed incredible ability to make plays, especially in the postseason in 2016. Like that strip in the Super Bowl from LeGarrette Blount, Deion Jones has the speed that gives him the incredible flexibility to his game as a run stopper, a blitzer, and a cover guy. Look out for Deion Jones in 2017 to make an impact on the Atlanta defense. For the New York Giants, I have running back Paul Perkins. Paul Perkins is the best kept secret on the New York Giants roster, and in 2017, he has all the makings of a breakout season for this young running back. In Week 17, Perkins drew the first start of his career against the Redskins, and he proceeded to rush for 102 yards rushing on 21 carries. Now, that's not ultra impressive, but consider this. He became the only Giants running back to top over 100 yards in a single game in 2016, mostly due to the fact that Rashad Jennings was the starter there in 2016 for a majority of the season. They didn't give Paul Perkins much of the load, but even I noticed that when Paul Perkins came in, he made a major impact on even the smallest plays. He improved a lot in his pass blocking ability. He has that ability, so they'll keep him in to catch the football, as well as the fact that he was a really effective and efficient short yardage back that I think will get him a lot of opportunities near the goal line. He really has no competition, and Paul Perkins has that free alleyway to kind of become a good running back for the Giants, not to mention their offensive line should slightly improve from a really lackluster unit last year. They have a ton of receivers there in New York to keep the pressure off the run game. And I just see Paul Perkins having the perfect combination of things around him as well as opportunity to kind of break out in 2017. The next guy I have on this list is Myles Jack of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The lack of playing time in 2016 won't happen again in 2017. Jack will take over the starting middle linebacker role this season, and it's really easy to forget Jack was coming out of UCLA. If he can be a rangy coverage linebacker that this scheme really needs in Jacksonville, then the Jaguars are going to be a force defensively, and Myles Jack can really show off his incredible athleticism and playmaking ability in this defense. Bilal Powell of the New York Jets is the next guy on this list. His 722 rushing yards last year was a career high for him. He has averaged 4 yards per carry or better every year since 2012, and that number has spiked all the way up to 5.5 in 2016. That number placed him actually second in the NFL last year. He's had 105 catches for 776 yards and 4 touchdowns in his last 27 games, making him a reliable option out of the backfield for a group of Jets quarterbacks which desperately need a lot of help. What I can really say is Powell can do it all. He can carry a load catching the football. He can also run the football, as he's shown in previous seasons. Powell can really shine if he's given more of an opportunity to be that starting running back. I think at some point this season, even if he doesn't start off as the starting running back, he will take the role from Matt Forte, and he will flourish with it. Given his effectiveness in not many opportunities, I think Powell could be one of the bright spots of a terrible Jets team in 2017. Amir Abdullah, another running back on this list for the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions haven't had a running back reach 1,000 yards on the ground since 2013-2014, which I believe it was Reggie Bush. Since being drafted by the Detroit Lions, Abdullah has showed signs of being a great running back behind an awful offensive line. He averaged 4.2 yards per carry in 2015-2016. Abdullah was the leading rusher with just 597 yards that season. He also caught 25 passes for 183 yards as well, showing he can be a versatile receiver as well as a runner. I think he will really take the next step in becoming a great running back. With 120 total yards and a touchdown in week number 1, he was well on his way to becoming that last season. He did get banged up with an injury, but Abdullah has the explosiveness, the quickness, the cutting ability to be a Detroit Lions lead back. Yes, Theo Riddick is going to take some opportunity away from him, but Abdullah is more of the first and second down reliable running back. You throw in that he can catch the ball as well, and he could be a dynamic force in the NFL for the Lions. Next, we have Blake Martinez for the Green Bay Packers. He had 13 games as a rookie, which is pretty impressive starting for the Green Bay Packers. Martinez had 69 tackles in 2016, a sack, and also an interception. If he can continue down the road of what was a solid rookie season, I think he could be a solid starter in the NFL. Now, do I expect Blake Martinez to be a superstar? Maybe not quite, but I think he can be a quality piece to this Green Bay Packers defense. They've been missing a solid middle linebacker for a while now. AJ Hawk really wasn't himself even at the end of his career in Green Bay, and ever since he left, they haven't really had anyone solid in that interior defense. What Blake Martinez also allows the Packers to do is, if he is playing great like he did last year, this allows Clay Matthews to move to his original position, which was the outside linebacker, give the Packers more of an ability to rush the passer, and Martinez can do that for the Packers with smarts and the ability to be versatile in run support and in coverage. Shaq Thompson for the Carolina Panthers. Now, this could have been James Bradberry very easily, but I feel like a lot of people are already on that train, so I wanted to give you something a little bit different. Now, Shaq Thompson is going to get more reps than expected this season. I think he's actually going to be a full-time starting linebacker in their 4-3 defense. Klein is gone. Kuechly and Davis have been banged up recently, and especially Kuechly. He's clearly one of the Panthers' most athletic and versatile weapons on defense. When he was in that nickel defense last year, he showed a lot of ability to, do a lot of different things. Of course, this is a guy that came into the NFL as not only a linebacker, but also a running back. That is the type of athleticism that Shaq Thompson possesses. I think this season you'll see really a trio of linebackers in Carolina that are going to do some damage on opposing offenses. I think Shaq Thompson will take that next step and complement one of the better duos in the NFL in Kuechly and Davis in 2017. Trey Flowers for the New England Patriots is next on this list. Trey Flowers really became one of the best go-to pass rushers on the Patriots in 2016, probably the best. After losing Chandler Jones, there was a big question mark in who was going to replace his production, and it didn't really matter because Trey Flowers came in and he was that go-to guy. He led the defense his way on the defensive line all the way to the Super Bowl and was a part of the #1 scoring defense in 2016. In 2017, he will be relied on even more with the departure of Rob Ninkovich. But Flowers, I think, is up for the challenge. Last year was essentially his rookie season after missing his entire rookie season due to injury. He took the league by storm, especially down the stretch in the Super Bowl, forcing many key plays and oftentimes manhandling one of the best centers in the NFL in Alex Mack. I think Flowers should see his numbers jump in his second year and maybe even be a fringe Pro Bowl player for the New England Patriots in 2017. Jamison Crowder for the Washington Redskins. Crowder defied the knocks against all slot receivers by delivering several big plays down the field last season, and he truly does have that ability. That was no fluke. I think he's going to be scoring and receiving even more than he did in 2016. You think about it, and he's really replacing the Deshaun Jackson role in this offense. They lost Deshaun Jackson. He went to Tampa Bay, but I think Jamison Crowder could be a young Deshaun Jackson. Now, he's not quite as fast down the field. He's more of a quick side-to-side player, similar to what Antonio Brown was early in his career. He has great quickness, great route running ability, the ability to separate down the field. He can play in the slot. He can play outside. He's going to be playing with Pryor on the outside, which Pryor looks to be like he's going to break out as well. So this is a receiving core that is going to just blow the doors off of opposing defenses. I think Jamison Crowder is going to be a big reason why, due to his athleticism, due to his flexibility in this offense. Kirk Cousins is going to have a field day with these receivers, especially Jamison Crowder in 2017. Carl Joseph for the Oakland Raiders. I feel a lot stronger and faster. I'm not really timid like I was last year. I was kind of timid at certain points to plan off that knee. That's straight from the source of Carl Joseph, the safety of the Oakland Raiders. Now, of course, he had some issues with the knee, but he still played pretty good. I mean, he started just 9 of 12 games last year, but still managed 60 combined tackles with an interception. And this year, he's going to be relied upon to really become a playmaker for this defense and could become a top breakout candidate for the Raiders as well. What else do I got to say? Carl Joseph is a guy that Ronnie Lott, many consider Ronnie Lott to be the greatest safety of all time. Ronnie Lott sees a lot in Carl Joseph, and that's enough for me to verify that Carl Joseph could be a breakout candidate in 2017. Kayvon Webster of the LA Rams. Now, Wade Phillips, of course, you guys remember that Wade Phillips is going to be the defensive coordinator for the LA Rams this season. And where did he coach before? That was the Denver Broncos. He helped recruit one of his former players in Denver, cornerback Kayvon Webster. Now, Webster was really strong during his rookie season as a corner on the Broncos until he got hurt. Webster was a key piece of the Broncos' 2015 Super Bowl run as a special teams ace. Man, he was really good, trust me. And he has an aggressive style. He knows the system well. He just needs some opportunity, and I think he'll get it in LA this season. There aren't a lot of great corners on this defense. You really have Trumaine Johnson, and then there's a major drop-off. But with Webster's knowing of Wade Phillips' system, with his previous good performance after losing his job to guys like Talib and guys like Chris Harris, I think Webster could come in and really have a great season for the LA Rams in 2017. Brashard Perryman for the Baltimore Ravens. Perryman is a burner with size, but he just can't stay on the field. But when he's had his shot, we saw reason for excitement. He had 20 receptions from week 8 to the end of the year last year. In 5 games in 2016, he had a play that went over 35 yards. Now that Perryman has a great chemistry with Flacco and a little experience to work with, he's going to have a much better performance. The Ravens are looking for him to not just be a big play guy, but to be a consistent playmaker for Flacco that he can rely on in 2017. Sheldon Rankins of the New Orleans Saints. Now, in his limited playing time last season, Rankins gathered 4 sacks, tied for 3rd on the team, and had 20 tackles plus a forced fumble. Rankins figures to be a large part of the success for the Saints defense this season, especially with Nick Fairley's season really on the ropes, and probably Fairley won't be able to come back this year. That puts a lot more stress on Rankins' ability to not only get after the passer, but stop the run, and I think Rankins has that ability. Of course, this is another guy that has been a little bit banged up and hasn't really seen his full potential yet. I think in 2017, we will have an opportunity to see that for the Saints. CJ Prosise of the Seattle Seahawks. I've been on the CJ Prosise bandwagon for a very, very long time. He's really shown a lot of flashes of becoming an electrifying playmaker in the NFL. He has great receiving skills. He has the ability to explode on outside runs and is big enough to pound between the tackles. Prosise is actually a lot more like David Johnson than a lot of people realize. Now, he's not David Johnson. I'm not trying to say that, but he has the similar skill set. Do I think he'll start for the Seahawks? No, because I think that will probably go to Eddie Lacy. That's expected to be the decision at least. But he's going to get the role as the third down back, and it's been said that he's locked into that role. He has the great route running ability in the hands to do that. But as he continues to impress on third downs, I think Prosise will start to gain more and more traction with the Seahawks and also with the casual NFL fan, because he's such an electrifying athlete that I think that will push the Seahawks to give Prosise more opportunity after more opportunity, and I think we could see Prosise have a few huge games this year and becoming a breakout running back for the Seahawks. Sean Davis of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the safety Sean Davis didn't become a starter for the Steelers until midway through the 2016 season, but his year was impressive. With 54 tackles, 5 pass defense, and 1.5 sacks and a fumble recovery, Davis was named the team's Rookie of the Year for 2016 and has shown particular prowess for reading and stuffing screenplays. His 2017 season could turn him into a cornerstone of Pittsburgh's defense, with having the ability of hitting hard, coming up in the box and in run support. And if he can improve his ability to cover, I think Sean Davis could be on the road to becoming the best secondary player that Pittsburgh has to offer. Next, we have McKinney for the Houston Texans, a hard-hitting anchor of an inside linebacker. McKinney has rare speed and size and a great combination of that contributed to a nastiness of a #1 defense in the NFL in 2016. McKinney is already a good player as shown last season, but people will start to really recognize his beastliness this season. A hard-hitting linebacker with nastiness, aggression, and just an ability to freaking kill people across the middle. I think McKinney will have it all set up this season with J.J. Watt coming back, a ferocious pass rush. McKinney will have a field day across the middle for the Houston Texans defense. Marcus Mariota for the Tennessee Titans. Mariota has become an extremely good playmaker in his first 2 seasons as an NFL quarterback, but that hasn't kept him from showing flashes of explosiveness in both his arm and his legs. Mariota had a stretch of elite production last year, and if he can string together that over a course of a season, you throw in the fact that he has a better core of receivers in 2017, and we could see Mariota maybe even reach Pro Bowl status for the first time in his career and take his team to the playoffs. Very much like Jameis Winston, Mariota has the tools and now the talent around him to make it happen in 2017. Adam Thielen for the Minnesota Vikings. Thielen may be one of the quietest, consistent receivers in the NFL. Last year, he had a super quiet season. He actually posts stat lines of 69 receptions, 967 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Thielen was one of the few bright spots in a disastrous second half of the season for the Minnesota Vikings in 2016. He looked like a true #1 receiver on a lot of occasions, and this will be his first full offseason knowing that he'll be one of the offensive's top targets. They do have Stephon Diggs, they do have Kyle Rudolph, but Adam Thielen is the guy that I'm most intrigued in to see how he steps up from last season and how he steps up from his great second half of 2016. Adam Thielen is a guy to look out for at the receiver position. And the last guy on the breakout list is for the San Francisco 49ers. Rashard Robinson, the cornerback from the 49ers, flashed a lot of raw talent as a rookie. The 49ers are moving into more of a press coverage unit this season on defense. Robinson has the size and the length to get plenty physical with opposing receivers. The 49ers have not had a pure #1 lockdown cornerback in quite some time. Like, even when they were a good defense, I don't remember them having a shutdown corner. But Robinson could be the next one for this 49ers defense due to his raw physical ability, this new scheme change that he's under, and having an impressive rookie season. I think Robinson could turn into one of the better young corners in the game in 2017. So those are the breakout players for 2017, a breakout player for every single NFL team. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a long one, but if you did, hit the like button, Gronk spike it, and comment below what I got right, what I got wrong. It's Mitch of the Bottom Line View. If you enjoyed and you stayed around, subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more videos just like this. We're going to have so much NFL content on this channel. Can't wait to get it all done with you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for the support. It's Mitch of the Bottom Line View. Peace out.